Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. So with that being said, let's just dive in. Let's talk about a few things. So Bitcoin has been climbing around like the 30.5K zone. We have been addressing this into, targeting that 34 to 35K zone. Honestly, we have a while to go in terms of that area, but that would be the next major area to really kind of reclaim. That is a major demand channel that we've been basically waiting for us to get back into. But it's going to take us some time, and honestly, by the time that you guys do see this, we might actually, be pretty significantly higher or lower, depending on really kind of what happens while this does get scheduled, because this is scheduled for ahead of time. But I will say this: I have been watching Bitcoin's price action closely. I want to see us make, a climb back into a nice demand range. You guys do see the price action going back as far as like the summertime back here. Again, I'm not going to utilize like log scale or anything like that on, coin market cap, but I will say this: I have been definitely watching Bitcoin's price action closely, and really kind of addressing, listen, most likely altcoins will take a deeper dive soon. XDC is definitely one that I have been addressing into, price action and where we could head down to, because at this current moment in time, Bitcoin dominance is pretty high. So if we do see that nice impulsive move to the lows to test some significant points, we will see, even lower price action on, Xinfin, which again, where is that level that we're basically watching for? Well, right now we're sitting at about like roughly almost 4 cents. We've been addressing the 2 to 4 cent zone, around that range. Ultimately, I'm still looking forward to seeing these, yearly lows being tested, which could be at around like the 1 to 2 cent zone. And ultimately, we could even come down to test significantly lower depending on how volatile Bitcoin actually is. But I will say this: definitely look at the 2 cent zone. That's the area that I've definitely been eyeing for. Like 2 to 3 cents is a range that I feel comfortable accumulating in. But we might even go a little bit lower. It all depends, like I said, on Bitcoin. But I do have a ton of things to talk about. So let's kind of move on and let's talk about a few things. So the other day I just talked to you guys about SureComp, and we actually did see XDC SureComp joining DNI and TFD initiatives. SureComp is, global trade finance software and solutions provider for banks and corporations. Anigio and Swift are partners, and here we guys have it. So this is from the ITFA. SureComp has decided to join ITFA's flagship market initiatives, DNI initiative and TFD initiative, recognizing the industry momentum around two key market trends. One, the global adoption of UNCE FACT model law of electronic transferable records, MLETR, and two, the need to attract institutional liquidity to support trade originators. Now we also do see over here the partners, and I talked to you guys a little bit about them. There's some, significant ones that are, of course, in, talks with Xinfin. Don't know if these are, being worked on with Xinfin, but they are all a part of the TFDI, which, in my opinion, is basically, that's solidifying the idea of them working together because all of them are focused on the same exact thing. Anigio definitely is a big key player within the Xinfin ecosystem. And then, of course, we did see, a few connections with Coriolis. And also, pay attention to Swift, because Swift is labeled on a lot of the partner list for a lot of these ISO 222 tokens, and they have definitely been working within this entire timeline for that as well. So it is something pretty significant. Now, of course, in terms of the ISO 222 timeline, I know that you guys are probably all aware of this. Of course, we are definitely eyeing November 2022. I know that this got pushed a little bit to like 2025, but in my opinion, I don't believe that we will see that pushed to later dates. I think that this will actually be streamlined and it will happen sooner than expected. But we're definitely watching this closely, and we did see that this is going to be starting in August of this year on opt-in basis, and November 2022 for general availability. There will be a 3-year period of coexistence for MT and MX, allowing early adopters to benefit from ISO 222's richer structured data and other banks to adopt at their own pace. Now, I don't believe that ISO 222 is going to pump these coins or anything like that. What I think that this is actually going to do is it's going to allow the efficiencies of a lot of these DLTs to actually be realized and utilized. Now, this is extremely important because we are seeing a major shift happening around crypto. In fact, this happened 2 days ago now, June 1st. New York Fed president urges colleagues to prepare for coming digital payment transformation. Technology is changing fast, but the role of the central bank stays the same. Williams tells an audience of official scholars and financial industry leaders. We actually did see down here the central banker dismissed much of the digital asset space with a single sentence observation that not all cryptocurrencies are backed by non-crypto assets. Central bank digital currencies and stablecoins backed by safe liquid assets have the potential for innovation, he continued. And we actually did see that major quote down here, basically saying, as central bankers, it's critical that we remain focused on carrying out our responsibilities while keeping pace with the world around us. And in my opinion, when we talk about things happening right now around crypto, I think that we are going to see a major shift. And that major shift isn't going to be just digital payments and things like that. We're going to be seeing digitization of almost every single market and industry. This is also why I focus on Xinfin a lot. We talk about, Xinfin basically being, the king, if you will, of trade finance, of digitization and tokenization of trade finance documents. And I think that that's a great area to focus on. But we also have to understand that they have direct connections to many things in terms of even cross-border payments. For an example, I shared with you guys, the connection with XDC as a settlement token on the R3's blockchain network Corda. And we talked about that multiple times because the significance of that is the reason why, Xinfin basically is a bridge on this network. We do see our Corda, the blockchain-based platform for institutions operated by R3 to interoperate with DLT and legacy systems through a Corda Xinfin bridge. This is going to allow them to actually interoperate with DLTs and legacy systems, allowing that connection between the two. And that is pretty significant. We've always talked about that in regards to Quant Network. But we've actually been seeing a major update here in terms of what R3 is really kind of focused on. Just June 1st, again, talking more so about the same date that this was pushed into, digital payment and transformation, we've seen them say, discover the full potential of CBDCs and fiat-backed stablecoins with expert insights, best practices, and resources from R3. Visit our digital currencies hub to learn more. And of course, we did see this. This is minting the future of money. Start accelerating your digital currency journey today. Welcome to the Digital Currencies Hub. Discover the full potential of central bank digital currencies and fiat-backed stablecoins with expert insights, best practices, and resources from R3. And this is actually pretty significant because you look at this, and this is actually focused on many areas. It's not just like specific ones. We actually do see over here, take advantage of the new digital economy. More than 80% of central banks are engaging in some form of CBDC work, and some of the largest commercial banks and exchanges in the world have already issued institutional or private stablecoins. And we do see over here faster cross-border payments, liquidity management, programmable services, T+1 post-trade settlement, market efficiency and transparency, atomic delivery versus payment. And you do see down here, regulated markets, participants are already realizing the benefits of digital currencies. World's first fully licensed digital asset exchange is live. This is from SDX. We've talked about 6 digital exchange multiple times with, again, Quant in mind. I think that when we talk about things happening right now, we should definitely be focused on the ISO, confirmation in terms of ISO 222 going live, because this is going to actually streamline this entire process of getting to that digital age. It's not going to allow for these, tokens to fully ramp up in terms of, price, and it's going to, cause a massive surge in price either. It's not going to do any of that. It's actually just unlocking the future, essentially, if you look at it from a perspective like that in terms of a messaging format. But I will say this, you can see exactly what's being built and what's happening here. I will say this, in terms of R3, I kind of look at this as, whatever R3 Corda is really kind of doing, you could almost account that XDC will most likely be utilized within this system as the settlement, token. Almost kind of think of it as like, RippleNet with XRP, right? You have XRP as the settlement token and the bridge currency. That's almost kind of similar here in terms of XDC and, Corda, which is pretty significant when you look at the things that, R3 Corda is basically building out. And also the ecosystem behind R3 Corda is also pretty significant. Now, last but not least, I do just want to wrap this video up by talking about Trade Tech. So Trade Tech also posted this. This goes back to the 30th, but they were saying, a new ITFA worldwide white paper highlights the the need to create an ecosystem and enabling frameworks to facilitate access to trade finance. The paper flags that banks alone will be unable to address unmet global demand for trade financing. And we also did see over here, Christoph Gugelman spoke with TXF News. The ITFA white paper outlines important considerations to make trade finance a palatable investment proposition, including the need for uniform principles, digital infrastructure, and legal frameworks. And that digital infrastructure is essentially being built out within the Xinfin ecosystem. I want you guys to understand that, again, when we talk about things happening around this specific area, the entire system is going to be digitized. I know that when we look at digital payment the digital payment infrastructure itself, in this transformation that we're going to be basically be seeing, I know that it's very easy to kind of get caught up in the idea of just like digital payments in general, but it's so much bigger than just digital payments. I want you guys to understand that this is a major shift happening in many industries. It's not just one industry. We're going to be seeing, real estate being digitized. We're going to be seeing, the stock market basically be digitized. And this is all going to happen most likely through tokenization. I think that when we talk about things happening right now, it is a few categories that we always kind of, take notice of. Trade finance, cross-border payments, and it kind of gets annoying, right? It almost kind of gets repetitive, if you will. But you could definitely see the things that are being built out. And I think that we should all, as a retail investor in crypto, understand exactly what we are putting our money into. I think that a lot of these major networks, these specific tokens, hold accountability for what they are really kind of focused on in terms of the company that created these tokens. We look at these, tokens as settlement and bridge tokens, and they are ultimately going to be the key for a lot of these networks to actually interact with the legacy frameworks that they're basically a part of, similar to what they are saying over here in terms of, interoperability between DLT and legacy systems. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As it is up to you all, have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.